Hey guys, welcome back to Musings with Maverick channel. I'm your host Maverick, and today we're going to be watching Fairy Gone episode 2. So, last episode we got the introductory episode, right? And in all honesty, it was kind of lackluster. We know a little bit more about the whole situation, about how fairies are used as weaponry, and we also confirmed that the setting is somewhat around 1920s, 1930s, right? Judging by the clothing and the weapons that they use. Also, we get introduction to a few of our main characters and whatnot. Although, again, the dialogue could use a lot of work. The animation was pretty average, and it was all overall not exactly the best first impressions, right? However, I'm still holding out hope for this episode. I do want it to be good because I really enjoy the setting that it has. And, who knows? Maybe the story will eventually pick up, or we'll be able to see some actually really cool action when they actually start to have some more larger scale battles, right? Also, by the end of the last episode, we have confirmed that our main character, Maria, or our main female lead, has joined Free into being this government agency that tries to punish illegal fairy users, ? So I'm also guessing that we'll learn a little bit more about the politics and the world situation here. So, in any case, let's just go into the episode and see what happens. So let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Come on, show some promise. Suna, 491. Dang it, I forgot the I forgot the ear from last episode. Oh, it's going forward fast anyways. Fairy Research Facility. So you can transplant fairies? Glory to our kingdom. Fanatica. So is this Marilyn? Marlin? Yeah. I think this is the War of Unification. Oh. This is the part from within the promotional video. Field guns. So again, still maybe post World War I. Ooh. Okay. But this is a fairy, right? Ooh. Okay. I just realized this is actually sort of like a mecha anime. Oh. Don't just stand here, do something. As I was saying, it's sort of like a mecha anime if you think about it, right? Because they fight. Hold on a second. Huh? Alright. And so yeah, this was the opening. We've already seen it, so I'm going to skip it, and I'll see you guys in just a second. And back. Wolf collar and swan feathers. Well, at least their episode titles are pretty nice. Ooh, nice shot. Who names themselves 3? Oh. Oh, so he's the deputy commander. I'll probably have to go in and go for that again after the episode. Oh, that's not the normal way it goes? Okay. So I'm guessing what they're trying to say is that normally it has to be transplanted. Yeah, there we go. This might have some big consequences, if true. Big if true. Okay, and this is... I just thought of something, actually. This kind of gives me a Persona vibe, if you think about it. Especially with the use of music, and the use of like 3D animation with the monsters and stuff, and then switching back to 2D. Mm. Yeah. Huh. Motorcycles, eh? This type of motorcycle did not exist somewhere in the 20s and 30s. Yeah, with the background music and stuff. Okay, some old ruins. I guess this is like a forward scout. Maria-chan? So I guess they just skip. So I guess they went through the whole training and orientation process already. That's an interesting engine. Hmm. And that's your friend, right? Yeah, this doesn't. If you already have suspicion that you're compromised. Mm, oh well. He's the veteran. He's the veteran. I'm just the armchair general. Really? You look at this and you have to ask if it's ruins? Which means we're about to get ambushed. Oh, okay. So leading them astray and then going back and then getting rid of the surveillance people. Oh. Arcane Mafia Group. Alright. And now you know? Oh, wait, humans can fight against that? I still have no idea how the entire combat system in this world works. Like, what? Oh. Senpai should not. Never mind. Hmm? Yeah, you guys want to, like, explain the world system for me? That's a nice team, right? A sniper and a spotter. Makes sense, makes sense. And these guys remind me of, what is it? Dorothy. And what was that? Never mind, never mind. Okay. So can this one do anything other than spot? Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. So there we go, spotter and sniper. Hmm. What? What just happened? Did he turn into a dog? Oh, was this the place where he lost his friend? I just want to point out that this rock music has been going on throughout this entire battle. What? What? Or maybe you can just ask the sniper to take that car out? Seriously? What? Okay, this doesn't really make much sense. I think I kind of get what. uh... All right. All right, all right. I mean, yeah. We've heard this before. All right, I'll see you guys after the ending. All right, so apparently there's a little bit more after the ending song, so let's just watch this together in 3, 2, 1, play. All right. Let me guess. The misunderstood bad guy who has his own good reasons to do things? Something like that? Alrighty, so that was episode 2 of Fairy Gone. And I gotta say, 2 episodes in, and my, I guess my feeling towards this anime hasn't changed at all. The dialogue still is messy, the pacing is still messy, the action is still okay, the music is good, and it still has potential based on its setting, right? I feel like nothing has changed 2 episodes in. So let's talk about a few. Alright, let's talk about a few concepts first, and then I'll get to my, I guess, rant afterwards. So, we do learn a little bit more about this world. First of all, I feel like the most important thing is that Maria actually is in a peculiar situation, right? So normally fairy users aren't supposed to have fairies just enter them and fuse with them, right? This was, I guess, it was hinted at in the first episode, but it wasn't really directly said. But here we can finally confirm that, yeah, this isn't something that normally happens. Maybe it's because she came from the fairy village, maybe not. If so, does maybe Veronica also use a similar method with her fairy as well? Yeah, it's hard to say, but I guess this is going to be a point of contention later on, because apparently it's enough of a situation that the commander of the Dorothy unit decided to withhold this information first, right, of pending further investigation. So this seems to have some major consequences. I'm assuming actually that probably transplanting fairies into soldiers also has a failure rate, right? So just based on this, what I'm predicting right now is that if they can find the military or people related with the military are going to think, hey, if there's a method of directly fusing fairies with humans, then they can skip the whole transplanting failure part, right, and make it more efficient so they can crank out more fairy soldiers. At least that's what I'm thinking for this right now. What else? So we also got the Wolfram is with the Mafia. Still not quite sure who Veronica is affiliated with, and we also learned a little bit more about the government unit, right? We see a little bit more of the other kinds of capabilities that they have, and the other kinds of fairies. So there are more specialized ones as well, not just general fighting ones that we've been seeing so far. The backstory, I don't know. Until we learn more information, I'm just gonna put it there for now. I'm assuming they're trying to set up some tragic past and whatnot, but right now I'm not feeling it, to be honest. So yeah, and in regards to the motorcycle part, I was a little bit confused at that part because I thought that that kind of style of Harley Davidson's didn't really exist during that period, but apparently Harley Davidson was already popular in the late 20s and early 30s, so it's possible that they had that kind of style of motorcycle. I still think it looks a little bit modern, but maybe that's just an aesthetic design choice there. What, and really, yeah, I don't... in regards to the plot, yeah, I don't think there's much to add on to that. Let's just talk about the anime in a general sense, right? Or in this episode in a general sense. The dialogue still remains like one of my biggest gripes of this series so far. It's just so unnatural, right? Let me give two examples. One is when the car is backing up, right? That special car with Wolfram is backing up, and then 3 dodge out of the way, and then he had to shout to Maria and say dodge out of the way, and then Maria had to use that time and say, oh yeah, good idea, let me dodge out of the way. Like, that is such an idiotic line, right? I guess if I were to give it the benefit of the doubt, maybe they're trying to add some humor into it, but that really just doesn't make any sense. Just move out of the way. Why have a special dialogue right there? Or the part with 3, when at the very end, the very last car that was suddenly, for some reason, flipped over, and then so 3 ran over and checked on the driver, and it turns out the driver was stabbed or something by Wolfram. And so, and then after he died, 3 had this whole monologue thing where he's like, huh, you haven't changed since then, or whatnot. Like, that felt so damn forced, right? I get what they're like, I can get that they're trying to let us understand a little bit more about this Wolfram character, but there are better ways to do that. You can either actually have him say it to someone, either the driver, like, say for instance, maybe the driver, he doesn't ask the driver, like, who did this to you, right? He just looks at him and said, Wolfram, and then slams his hand on the car or something. That would be enough for us to understand, okay, so this is the kind of character that Wolfram is. Or maybe explaining what kind of character Wolfram is when Maria is there, right? Maria asking, oh, why did he suddenly kill all his comrades? And then Free can use that opportunity to explain. Instead, it just feels so forced. So yeah, I think part of the problem is that Jumanji-san himself is writing the script. Like, I'm sure that he is a very well accomplished novelist, right? And he, like I said before, he's most famous for his world building and stuff. But now that even the script, like the actual script the anime is supposed to follow, is being written by him, I feel like they probably should have gotten someone more experienced to know like what kind of dialogue lines you should put into the anime. And speaking of which, there are a few more complaints I have as well. Like, for instance, I still don't understand when 3 was using his special ability Howl, right, against Wolfram. Why did all of a sudden that other car just, step in front of him, right? Was that driver trying to protect Wolfram, and then Wolfram simply offed him even later on? If so, that's pretty damn cruel, right? But still, like, that, I don't know, Wolfram, you could feel like he never felt that he was threatened or anything. So was he planning on his comrades coming in and help him, or did he have the entire situation under control and really that driver just came in and died for no particular reason, right? Like I don't get that. As well as the very last scene where the car overturned as well. Like what caused it to overturn? Is it simply because Wolfram decided he wanted to just ditch everyone, so he killed the driver right then and there, so the driver overturned and distracted 3 so that he could get away? Is it something like that? But he seemed to have the upper hand, right? He was on the roof of the car and he was fighting against a guy on a motorcycle. Like he could have just summoned his fairy right then and there and threw him off the motorcycle and that would be dead. He'd have a great escape, right? What was the reason for killing his driver? Maybe we'll learn a little bit later on, like he has his own particular reason to kill all of them, but right now that doesn't really make much sense to me. And finally, let's get back to the action part, right? Because I guess this is the cool part of this episode, if you will. Like, compared to the first episode, the action was a little bit better. It seemed much more fluid, although I don't know, it just lacks impact of some sort. And you know, they had this entire rock music playing during all of the scene, and that part was long, right? They had like an action scene and then a little bit of an intermediary, and then immediately after that another action scene as well. So really, I felt like I was hearing the entire song for over a span of like 5 minutes or something. Yeah, even though they put a lot of action scenes in there, it just didn't have enough oomph to it. Like, it didn't really feel epic, or it didn't feel weighty. It seemed like just, you know how in normal action series you would have the protagonist or whatnot fighting against the small fry and just, just doing whatever, and that felt kind of like that, right? It wasn't even really in a way where we could feel satisfied. Like, it wasn't like 1 against 10 or something and then he was doing all sorts of cool moves at the same time. Instead, it felt very, I don't know, slide by slide, if you will, like one enemy and then one enemy, something like that. So it just didn't really give off an epic feel at all. I do hope that they can brush up that part as well. And speaking of which, I still have like I mentioned within the episode, it does kind of feel like a mecha anime to me, in a sense, because of the fairies are fighting each other, and then the fairies are also linked to the humans as well. So, kind of giving off an, like, Evangelion vibe or something. Evangelion vibe, I mean. Or, I don't know, Pacific Rim or something. Or any of those other mechas where the robots are nerve linked to the pilot. And by the way, I'm sure somebody will probably take offense to me calling Evangelion a mecha series, but you know what I mean. But yeah, I still have no idea how exactly they're supposed to fight. Like, it just seems so weird, right? You fight with the fairies, and at the same time, you as the human also fight. But then I guess the humans are kind of super enhanced. We saw in this episode how Fury turned himself into a sort of fairy-like creature, like a dog. So he had super enhanced powers, and then returned back to human form. So I guess fairy soldiers are also strong themselves as well. They're not just your regular human beings. Yeah, but the entire system still feels kind of not quite sure. I wish they would explain a little bit more about how this whole system works, right? I was actually expecting when Maria entered the agency that we would have some sort of a training montage where they would explain some of the things to us, like explain how you actually use your fairies, explain what things you need to notice or whatnot. And yeah, speaking of which, like, shouldn't she have received this kind of training? Right? She didn't even understand that, okay, when your fairy is damaged, you are not able to summon it out in a short period of time. Like, what were they teaching her? Like, that doesn't make sense at all either. But, oh yeah, again, with all that said, I know I'm ranting a little bit, but still, I really, really want this series to be good. Like, my opinion of this has not changed since the first episode. I still think that this is a very intriguing topic, a very intriguing world, and I still hope that they can somehow make it good in spite of all these problems that I just went through. But they still got a few, maybe one or two, I don't know. Like, currently, my gut feeling is that I probably will see this whole thing through, even if it does turn out to be just like this, of this quality throughout the whole series. But man, for the sake of me and for the sake of you guys as well, for the sake of anybody who loves anime, I hope they can do a better job with this. So, that's my review for episode 2 of Fairy Gone. You've been watching Maverick from Musings of Maverick, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me know what you guys think of this episode. Are you still going to watch it? Do you still think it has potential? Was there something that I missed somehow, and so maybe it explains some of my questions? Do let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time, and so until then, bye-bye.